If you look at just about every mature democracy, Canada, Australia, UK, they have nonpartisan officials administering their elections, and they do it on a national scale. We have a problem that we have partisans running our elections, and so you have Republicans are trying to purge voters in Florida, and Democrats here in California are trying to have election day registration. This is fight over access versus integrity. Republicans yell voter fraud, Democrats yell voter suppression, and it fits into a broader polarization of our society. Democrats and Republicans can't agree on common ground. So if you look at election reform that's happened over the last decade, it almost always happens along party lines. I tell the story of a guy who this week just passed away. His name is Mario Gallegos. He was a state senator in Texas. He had a liver transplant in 2007. Democratic senator. He had to, his doctors told me he had to stay in the hospital in Houston, but he had to be transported to Austin and was on a hospital bed and was wheeled into the Capitol Rotunda to filibuster the voter ID law. I mean, this is how bitter our fights have become. I'd like to see us move to a national system, nonpartisan election administration like they do in other countries, but it's hard to find any common ground on anything, much less about the rules of the election. What partisans learned is you fight the game at the margin. So putting in a voter ID law might not affect a lot of votes. Democrats claim it affects a lot, I think a lot less than Democrats claim. But if it affects 1% of the votes and a skew towards Republicans in a very close election, that can make a huge difference.
You actually suggest specifically a national election czar. What would that be like? And do you have a nominee in mind for the job?
I do have some nominees in mind. There are some people who've run election centers across the country who are very good. But how would we choose somebody who would be nonpartisan? What I suggest is one of two ways. Either you have the president nominate someone confirmed by an 80% vote of the Senate. Anybody that could get through that would have to be above board. Or you have the Democratic and Republican leaders propose someone, and they choose a third person. So there are mechanisms we could use, but we're so far from that. I would just like to see us make things a little less bad, than to get to the ideal point.